Alright. The one thing I did want to talk about. I've been waiting to talk about this, man. I've been very hyped. I wanted to be very sure about this before I actually talked about it. But we have confirmation that Travis Scott is basically dropping between now and the end of the month. It is essentially guaranteed that Utopia is here. It is Utopia season. It is Rage season. Travis Scott has finally returned to us after all the 5 years, after all the Warlocks, Astro Fest, all the shit that went down with him, the crazy shit. It is finally here, man. Utopia is here, and I know I made now 2 videos about it, and this is probably going to be the last video I make before we kind of, before we actually do Astro. Did I say Astro World? Utopia. I keep saying Astro World. Utopia, and I think, man, it's. First of all, my expectations. Do I expect it to sound good? I've heard one snippet that Travis Scott put on his Instagram. That's how I knew that it was for real. I didn't want to make this video until I got some sort of confirmation. He was with Rick Rubin, and they were listening to a track, and Rick was basically saying, "This shit is fire. Like, this is the one." And so that kind of got me hyped. I was ready for it at that point. Like, I'm like, okay, we're really gonna get Utopia. We've seen the briefcase go around. We've seen the various artists that he's been working with the weekend. Bad Bunny, I think, which is crazy too as well. Makes sense because he's now with the Kardashians with Kendall, so it kind of makes sense how that kind of ties together. Just basically the whole hype around it, the billboards going up around now in California. I just think that it's really here now. And then the cherry on the top is basically Travis having a listening party in front of the pyramids in Egypt. So I think one other artist did that. Someone told me that they said that. I think it was Russ. Russ did a performance in front of the pyramids. I don't know which pyramids it was. I've never seen the pyramids myself, so I can't give you exactly which pyramid. But I don't know, man. It feels like it's really here. I know Post Malone drops. I think the 21st, or he also may drop at the end of the month. I'm not really sure which Friday he drops, but I know Posty is dropping soon. And Drake is also talking about dropping soon as well. So, again, I know artists, you guys may not say this, man, but artists do not like to clash with each other when it comes to dropping albums and shit. So they don't really like to clash. So I think that's another indicator right there where we're not probably going to easily get big albums back to back, or we're not probably going to get big albums on the same day. So somebody's not dropping this month, and I think that it's probably going to be Drake. I think Drake's going to probably drop first thing August. That's just kind of what I'm looking at. But I definitely think we're either going to get Travis Scott on the 28th, or definitely he's going to be the first week of August. I think that is really coming. I don't know it's going to be the listening party, because the same thing that happened with Astro World, he's saying thanks for the 200 bits, but the same thing with Astro World, I think they got the listening party a week after, if I remember correctly. I think a week after is when the Astro World listening party happened, and he actually dropped the album a week before. So, I don't know. That's another thing that's kind of going around as well. So, all of that being said, though, a lot of people have been asking me, like, do I really think that this Astro World is going to live up to the hype? And personally, man, I don't really think that. I definitely think after the Astro World, and they call my nigga a warlock. I can't wait to upload that reel to goddamn Instagram, because they really called him a warlock. But I think after that whole Astro Fest thing happened, I mean, I'm not going to say that was peak Travis, but Travis was essentially unstoppable. He was on top of the world already, of his #1 position all over the world. Obviously, you have the Kanyes, the Drakes, the Coles, the Kendricks. But Travis was right there as well, if not more popular than all of them next to Drake. And I think that the Astro World Fest situation, tragedy, whatever you guys want to call it, even though it wasn't his fault, it definitely took a step back from, where his peak was. And so, do I think that the hype is there? I definitely do think the Utopia hype is there, especially among the Travis fans. But I think that worldwide, though, I don't think everybody is tuned in as you think. So with that being said, I don't think there's going to be. I don't think there's that much pressure on Travis. I think if anything, this is a chip on the shoulder album for Trav. I think that Trav is basically, here to take back his shit. A lot of people have also been talking shit about his last 7 features. It's crazy too. Again, there's some questionable features that he had, especially, I was not cool with, but at the same time though, he's also dropped great tracks. in the last 7 to 8 features or tracks that he's done. So it's not like he's dropped bad music, but there's been a lot of people saying that this is ass. Travis Scott has taken a back seat. Travis Scott is not that good no more. Travis Scott is not that appealing no more. I've seen not the numbers, but I've seen the tweets. I've seen hip hop Twitter. Unfortunately, I see that shit all over my timeline. It never leaves my timeline. And I got to tell you, man, like people are literally counting out Travis. So I think this is more of a chip on the shoulder album. I really think that this is going to be an album where Travis is going to remind everybody and put his staple back down that he is La Flame, he is Cactus Jack, he is Travis Scott, and he's going to take over the year over again. I think that once Travis drops, it's going to go crazy, especially if the album, the first 5 tracks go crazy. That's what it is. And then he's saying that this is going to have a rodeo Al Faro sound. I think that's kind of crazy. As much I love Al Faro, I'm probably my least favorite album from Trav, but I gotta say, man, if he's gonna bring a Rodeo Days Before Rodeo back, I'm down for that. All right, like Al Faro's cool. I feel like Al Faro was definitely more the most individual album from him, the most experimental, not experimental, but the start of Trav finding his sound, very very hardcore. But I think that, I don't know, man. I just think that I'm not too much expecting nothing crazy. I know that I'm gonna take 8 tracks from the album. That's my expectation right there. Is Travis Scott gonna do 300K? I got Travis doing 215K. That's what I got Travis on. We also have a picture of the merch on Travis Scott's website. Utopia is definitely coming. Utopia is here. I think for me, all I want is confirmation. I've been treating the hype like it's nothing, because confirmation for me is over everything. Confirmation, like y'all always talk about Travis, y'all always talk about not Future, Frank Ocean and blah blah blah. Y'all always get rickrolled. All right, I like to have my hopes down so I can get my hopes up. You feel me? So that's just how I feel. Bro said a whole lot of nothing. Saying 450K to 500K, I think that's a bit of a stretch. I think that's a push. Personally, I mean, I think, like I said, 225K, I think Travis is gonna do. That's my min. That's what he's gonna do. Mike Dean said and implied 2 years ago in an interview that Travis is bringing back Al Farrell production in terms of heavy drums. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's a very instrumentation, very hardcore, in your face album. But I mean, I think that the song that Travis's perfection in his sound was definitely Days Before Rodeo, 100%. So, I think that's the Travis that everybody kind of grew up to love and to see now what he is. So, I don't know, man. I'm ready. I want to see when it gets here. My personal expectation is going to be a good album. People are gonna say it's fucking trash first day. You know, that's usually how Twitter goes. Hip hop Twitter goes. They're gonna say it's trash first day. He's probably gonna do some different shit. For example, too, another thing people saying the features was trash that Travis has been doing. Specifically, they were talking about Lil Uzi Vert on the A song, which I think is a great hype track for the concerts, by the way, that Uzi did a great job. But I think that once people just like to forget, you know, everybody forgot that what he did on Metro Boomin's album. On Metro Boomin's album, this man was literally the god. All right, he was that guy. Between Trance, between Raindrops, between the tracks that he did with Future, I forget what that track is called. That's one of my favorite tracks on the Metro Boomin album. A lot of people don't know. Between those 3 tracks that he did, he tore his features up on that album. He did Mafia, he did Escape. That was with J. Cole. I didn't like Escape, but I love Mafia. He also did another track too with Future. That was crazy. I forget it wasn't on his track though, but it was a feature. It was probably one of the first tracks that came back. I know the Cudi features have been kind of bleh. But like, yeah, I don't understand what people are kind of raging about, talking about like this has been bad from his side, which I don't agree with at all. I think that he's been doing great. So, hold that heat. Yeah, hold that heat. So I'm just like, yo, what is everybody talking about with this Travis shit? And I'm not gonna lie, the snippets that I've been hearing like little snippets here and there. I try to stop myself from listening to too many spoilers, but like from the snippets that I've been hearing, bro, like that shit sounds like it's going to be amazing. And if you have Mike Dean behind you, I don't know if you guys been listening to that Weekend shit, the Idol soundtracks, bro. I know if you haven't been watching the show, I understand, but if you've been listening to the Idol, bro, Mike Dean has been going fucking crazy. All right, Mike Dean himself is in his prime of his own career, so I think that a lot of people need to stop hating. They need to get ready for it. and I think that this is going to be an amazing, what's that called? Again, I think it's also dropped at the perfect time. The Astro Fest has definitely fizzled down. No one's talking about it as much anymore. I also think that's going to be another thing that's going to be brought up. There are obviously going to be people that bring up the negativity of the Astro World incident. That's going to be a topic. People are going to be saying it's ass because it's probably very experimental. That's what people are going to be talking about. I don't know. I'm just giving you the negatives. Again, we're in a negative world nowadays. It's a negative era. A lot of people are going to be very negative day one. But I think that, from what I've seen from Travis Scott, he hasn't dropped essentially a bad album. Every album that he's done has been fire. Even Honcho Jack. Honcho Jack. A lot of people literally hated on that shit. Still, to this day, even give it a little bit of hate. But criminally underrated, all right? Honcho Jack is so fire. I listen to that shit a lot, all right? From Feel How You Feel all the way to from Moon Rock to Feel How You Feel. An insane run right there. Motorcycle Patches is crazy. There's a lot of crazy tracks on Honcho Jack. Now, Honcho Jack and Astro World is trash. All right, see? Trolling. All right, Astro World arguably his best album, if anything. But that's just how I feel about it. Hi, Daddy, you looking good. That's how I feel about it, man. I don't want to get too deep into it. I don't want to talk about it, but this is my predictions on it. I think it's going to be a great album, and but my expectations are low because I don't want to have any type of... I want to have a free mind when I go into it. That's just how I feel about it. So, that being said, man, next time, it's your boy Dev. Don't forget, like, comment, subscribe, all the good stuff. I'm here. Until the next time, YouTube, we are out. Peace.